Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome members, officers, and members of the public to this meeting of the Letchworth Committee. Before the meeting starts, I'd like to invite the committee member and scrutiny officer to explain how proceedings will work.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. If you wish to speak during a debate, please use the speak button on your microphone unit and wait for the Chair's permission to speak. When a vote is required, voting will take place using the yes, no, abstain buttons on your microphone units. The results of the vote will be visible in the room and on the YouTube stream and will be announced for the recording. Are there any questions before we start the meeting? Great, back to you then, Chair.
Thank you very much. Right, apologies for absence. I have apologies from councillors Gary Grindle, Kate Aspinwall, David Levitt and Adam Ruggiero-Shaka. Are there any other apologies? No. Minutes. I've got minutes for approval of the 8th of December 2021. I'd like to propose that we take these as read and approve as a true record the minutes of the meeting of the committee held on the 8th of December 2021. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Hone. We have to vote to approve the minutes. So if everyone can use their vote button on their... Has everybody voted?
Chair, that motion is carried.
Thank you very much. Right, notifications of other business. There is no other business advised. Chair's announcements. In accordance with the council policy, this meeting will be audio and video recorded and streamed live via YouTube. The audio recording will be available via mod.gov and the video available on YouTube. Members are reminded to make declarations of interest before an item. The detailed reminder about this and the speaking rights is set out under the Chair's announcements on the agenda. Number 6, Herts Constabulary. I would like to invite Sergeant Lisa Perks from the Safer Neighbourhood team to provide an update on the work being done in the Letchworth area, please.
Is that on? Sorry, it's the first time I've been here. Evening, I'm Sergeant Lisa Perks from the Letchworth neighbourhood team in North Herts. I've got some details together in relation to crime statistics that I take it you'd like them relayed to you here now. Yeah, okay. I think you might all be familiar with this. So these statistics are going back from the 1st of April, obviously last year, 2021, to the 6th of the 3rd, 22. I'll go through, there's about 7 types of crime that I'll refer to, 7 or 8 here. So all the crime in general from last year, there was 1,763 crimes in total in Letchworth. This year, there's been a very slight increase by 0.2%. They're now up at 1,766. So that's for all crime in Letchworth over the past year. In North Herts, just to give you some comparison, there was 5,668 overall in North Herts, and sorry, that's for this year. Sorry, I'm gonna have to start again. I've given you the wrong figures the wrong way around. Can I start again? Sorry, I've just realised I've read it out wrong. Let me start again, sorry. Right, all crime in Letchworth for this year has been 1,763 compared to last year, which was 1,766. North Herts this year has crime-wise has been 5,668, and last year was 5,723. So for the whole county, just put it into some perspective, crime overall for last year, we had 69,000 crimes reported compared to last year, which was 66,000. I'll concentrate on burglary. How would you like me to break this down? Because obviously I've got the figures for Letchworth, North Herts and the county. Do you want all those 3 figures or just for here?
I think just Letchworth will be fine if that's okay with members.
Yeah, okay, so otherwise it's quite a few numbers here. So for burglary, residential burglaries, in Letchworth this year, there have been a total of 44 burglaries, and last year there was 51. Burglaries, which are business premises in Letchworth this year, there's been 26, and last year there was 45. So there's been a significant decrease in Letchworth, and it's good to see we have a large proportion of industrial areas, which have resulted in increased patrols, making an area more hostile. Close work with bordering forces to identify and target travelling criminals, and working to increase business watch members. So in relation to theft from motor vehicles, in Letchworth this year we've had 52, last year there was 77. So there's a far larger decrease in offences than elsewhere in the county, and we continue to educate people about leaving vehicles unlocked, which comes under Operation Lignite, and another recent op called Op Feline Initiative, which coincides with the National Metal Crime Week, which was back in February. Robberies, person on person. In Letchworth, there's been 6 this year, and last year there were 7. Violence against persons, as we call it, victim-based, which would include assaults, malicious communications, public order, etc. In Letchworth this year, there's been 826, and last year there was 631. With regards to criminal damages in Letchworth this year, so far we've had 182 compared to 219 last year, and 2 of those were reports of arson. With regards to shoplifting, this year we've had a total of 67, and last year a total of 156. So I'll just go over our priorities that we have here, that we have each year, that we look at every 6 months. And the 3 headings we've got here for our priorities for Letchworth is vehicle crime, ASB relating to open spaces and car parks, and speeding. They're the sort of the 3 main headings. I could go into further if you'd like me to, but they're the 3 aspects of policing that we'll be concentrating on for the next 6 months.
Thank you so much. Do members have any questions at all for Sergeant Perks? Yes, Councillor Hone.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman, and thank you for the presentation, from the officer. Getting a message really about antisocial behaviour in the town centre, and certainly from the past few weeks, I've been led to believe there has been an increase in antisocial behaviour in the town centre. Even yesterday evening at 7:30, there was a lot of police presence in and around the Broadway Hotel, which some of us crossed. So perhaps the officer might want to comment about, have they recorded any increase in antisocial behaviour in the past, let's say 3 or 4 weeks in Letchworth Town Centre?
So with ASB, we do find as the evenings get lighter and the weather gets warmer, youths do come out and start congregating more often than they do in the winter months. We are aware that there is, like in all towns, at times ASB, particularly at Howard's Park, and we're working with North Herts District Council to try and reduce that where we can, and link in with the schools. And we do obviously carry out lots of patrols, not just in Howard Park, but in the town centre as well. I'm part of the neighbourhood team. I've got a team of 12, and that consists of police officers and PCSOs, and they are regularly requested by myself to carry out patrols. That answers the question. I haven't looked at the figures today to see exactly if there has been, what the numbers are when you say an increase in ASB, but obviously we do ask people to call 101 should they wish to report something.
Normally at this point, I would ask for the bid to comment as well, because I know they've been dealing with this. There's a couple of new groups that are coming into the town centre, and they have been getting all of the different businesses to make reports and make sure that you are aware, because we know for a fact the more people do report things, the more you're able to get involved. So I'm not speaking on behalf of the bid, but I know that is something that they are working on at the moment. Are there any other questions at all for Sergeant Perks? No, in that case, I would like to say thank you ever so much for coming in. We do really appreciate it. And you are welcome to leave if you wish. Thank you very much. Now, as I just mentioned, unfortunately, Kathy Andrews and Alice Johnson from Letchworth Garden City Bid are unable to attend this meeting and have sent their apologies. We do, however, have Graham Fisher here from the Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation to provide an update on the work being done by the foundation. Graham.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Seems to work okay. Everybody can hear? Yeah. Thank you very much. So I'll just give you a run through really of where we're at as an organisation, and I guess one could say the green shoots of recovery in a sort of post-COVID environment. So as you know, COVID had a huge impact on our income. We lost about 20% of our property rental income during the COVID period. It's good to report that that has now returned. So we're actually receiving just under 95% of our invoiced rental income, which is a good level. So that's kind of put us back on a more resilient footing. It does, however, mean that there are some very significant historic debt issues, which, as the COVID legislation changes at the 25th of March, that will begin to create some pressure, particularly obviously for us, as we have a fiduciary duty to reclaim outstanding property debt and rental debt. That is overwhelmingly commercial income. We have almost no residential rent arrears. But overall, it's a good, although I think it's going to be a challenging year for us as we kind of manage that transition with some of the businesses and some of the challenges, of course, they're facing. We are more confident in terms of our own budgeting now and able to look at reinvesting in some areas of activity. I think when last time I came to speak to you, we were in the middle of our governance review. That has now concluded, and so we have completed all the changes that we are making. And I'm pleased to announce we have our first 4 ever appointed trustees, which was particularly good to announce on International Women's Day because 3 of them are women, which in the Heritage Foundation governance terms is quite a radical change, really, in terms of the gender split on our board. So we're very pleased to welcome them. They come from a range of backgrounds, including art and culture, fundraising, housing development and construction, as well as looking around PR and communication. So there were particular gaps that we had in our board. So that piece of work has been now concluded. Hopefully you're all aware, and perhaps some of you have contributed to our consultation on Letcher culture strategy. Ros Allwood is the North Herts Council's representative on the culture strategy, and this is not a foundation culture strategy, so this is aiming to be a culture strategy for the town. So it's really been a very collaborative process, and we have a kind of collaborative steering group that's made up of ourselves, yourselves, but a range of other local culture and heritage community organisations. And the idea really is to kind of provide some strategic leadership to culture in the town centre, something we invest in quite considerably, but which has grown really in its significance within the town within the last few years. And you're probably aware, for many places, their town centre regeneration strategies often have a very strong cultural element because culture brings people into the town centre, it encourages them to dwell in the town centre. So that's an area of work that we're investing quite a lot in at the moment. We have core funding of about £150,000 a year in the gallery and our museum service. And one of the changes that has come about through the impact on our budget over COVID is that we are now fundraising additional income. So we've actually brought in about another £150,000 worth of fundraised income for this year. So we've got a service with a budget now of about £300,000. So that's a good basis on which we can build and develop. And we want to really ensure that the heritage and culture of Letchworth is a real signifier for the town, something that kind of really strengthens the town. So that takes me into the town centre strategy group. We've reinvigorated that group. Claire is a member of that group. And that's where we really bring together, again, multi-agency partnership, looking at developing the town centre strategy and supporting the council's own sort of spatial planning around the town centre. And we've been working very closely with Andrew Figgis and the work that you've been funding through People and Places to develop a town centre recovery plan. So we're really excited about that. I think it's a real opportunity to gather some input from business. So the business survey is live. I think it shuts tomorrow. So a last push if you know people that haven't completed it, and then there'll be some consumer research going on, and that'll all come together with a kind of final report at the end of the month. And we're hoping then the town centre strategy group will meet in April to start to work out what the next step actions are. In terms of housing, a bit like you, we're all waiting for the local plan, so we won't mention that any further. We're continuing to move forward on LG3, which is the area around the Baldock Road. Completely the name of the road escaped me.
Northern.
Yes, that's right. And we're also continuing to develop our work around the vision for LG1, so the area north of the Grange. That work is progressing well. We've got now a master planning process in place with the council. So all of that work is underway for both LG3 and LG1, which is good and exciting. Although, of course, we're all slightly anxious in terms of awaiting the final approval of the local plan. As clearly we don't want to commit too many resources until that is completed. So the final thing I really wanted to just mention was our grant funding. So one area of the foundation's expenditure that we maintained through COVID was our annual grant budget, so £600,000 a year investment into the local voluntary sector. And just really to kind of share some concerns, I think, that we have. So that budget was actually underspent by a third last year, so £200,000, of which a quarter, so £54,000 of that was money we had allocated to voluntary organisations who did not have the capacity to take it up. So we're experiencing some challenges with demand, and we're experiencing some challenges with capacity within the sector. And I think that reflects a national trend. That's the information we're picking up nationally. And it's a worry for us because, of course, the third sector is so key in terms of the delivery for us of our charitable objects. More so now than ever, because of course, during COVID, we cut back many of our community services. So that's really quite a big challenge for us. We are having some discussions with the CVS around some sector capacity building. But if there are some opportunities for some further collaboration in that area, we'd be very keen to work together with you. On a slightly lighter note, we are just about to launch a street party fund grant funding programme for the Queen's Jubilee. So you will be able to you'll be able to apply for grants for up to £700 to run street parties during the Queen's Jubilee weekend. So please do spread the word far and wide. It's always good. We want to try and get as many street parties as we can possibly underway. And it's a nice thing, I think, to finish on, really. That's it for me, Chair. So if you have any questions, then please fire away.
I will open it up to everybody in a moment. I've got a question as well. Previously, you'd mentioned about looking at distributing some of the grant funding through different community groups. Is that something that you are still considering?
Do I need to? Oh, yes. So we have kind of dual process, really, Councillor Allen. So we have a commissioning group now that we commission some of our larger funding. So that goes through Citizens Advice, the hospice, Bernardo, so we're doing some work around children's centres and early years. So that's quite a substantial sum of money. I think to give you an illustration, the grant to Citizens Advice is about £100,000 per year. We then have an open access grants programme, which is more reactive. So we have some themes. So this year, we're particularly looking at communities coming forward. So sort of trying to sort of reopen and re-engage third sector provision, but we are more dependent on people then reacting that through to us. We will be undertaking a strategic review this year. And one of the questions we want to ask is actually whether we begin to look at devolving some more money to neighbourhoods, because there's some parts of the town where we get very little applications from. And it may be that we would identify some third sector partners to work with to do a more collaborative approach, particularly around social action, which is one of our areas of interest.
Thank you very much. Do any other councillors have any questions at all? No, it looks like you're getting away easily today. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you ever so much, Graham. Again, you're also welcome to leave if you wish. Thank you. Right, we're on to public participation, and we're going to start with Garden City Samba. Nikki Young and Joy Holmes are going to give us a verbal presentation, please.
Right. First, we'd like to thank the District Council for their consideration of our grant application, and I'll hand you over to Joy.
Okay. Obviously, our application itemises the funding that we're looking for, and this is to pay towards the production of training videos, which will include our leader, who's our musical director, Raz, a camera person, and editing of these videos. And as you can see from the application, we have already managed to secure some funding from local councillors. During the lockdown, Raz produced the videos, which are really of a high quality, to individually demonstrate the instrument patterns and some of the pieces in our repertoire. This enabled the existing members to practice the instruments that they are familiar with, to learn new ones in the comfort of their own home. And so that when we all came back together after the lockdown, we didn't have to start again from scratch. You know, training is essential for the continued development of skills, and it's a great confidence builder. New members have said how useful the existing videos have been, and that's quite apparent in their playing, because they've certainly picked it up and progressed a lot quicker than those of us who didn't have this resource to tap into. I know I would have found it invaluable when I joined the group. I had no musical experience, and I was very nervous of making mistakes in a room full of musicians and forgetting what to do. So it would have been great to have these practice sessions at home. But now we'd like to go a step further and produce videos that provide more basic information, such as an introduction to the individual instruments, demonstrations of how to hold them, how to play them, learning the hand signals, which Raz uses, to conduct the group. And this could be accessed by new members, but also will be able to be accessed by individuals who may be considering joining us. It would give them an insight into what we do, an opportunity to try it. And we'd also like Raz to produce more videos for the remaining pieces in our repertoire. So to this end, we consulted a self-employed sound recorder. Now, he informed us that this type of production would require the expertise of at least 4 people, and quoted a daily rate of £2,000 for the filming alone. In addition to that, £400 a day for recording, plus the equipment, which would be a considerable cost. Added to that then is pre-production costs for design and post-production costs for editing. Raz is a professional musician. We employ him to teach us, to train us in playing the various instruments, and he leads us on then into playing full pieces of music. His teaching style is all inclusive to all abilities. He leads and encourages us with patience, humor, and respect. Raz not only teaches us and makes videos, but he also gives an awful lot of his own time working with committee members to sort out gigs for us to earn money, accessing funds, promoting the band, and constantly working on the music. His experience and dedication is a huge asset to our group. And as our musical director, he has the expertise to work with a band member to produce video resources to a professional standard at a fraction of the cost that we've been quoted. To tell you a little bit about the band, it's been together for over 10 years and it's performed at many local events, including Letchworth Food Festival. We're always at the switching on of the Christmas lights, as well as we've done charity events. Very often at our performances, we have audience participation, which everybody loves. We're a diverse group from all walks of life, differing social and economic backgrounds, ages ranging from 13 years to people in their 70s. We aim to be all inclusive and we offer discreet financial assistance in the form of concession fees and the hardship fund. It's a very welcoming group, and during lockdown, we kept in touch via social Zoom meetings, and when allowed, we practiced outside. And since the lockdown ended, not only have our original members come back, but we've welcomed several new members, which I think is a testament to the strength of our community. Personally, the band has given me much more than a fun activity. I moved to the area only a few months before I joined the band and knew very few people in my locality. In the 4 years I've been a member, I've developed friendships with other band members and regularly get together with them for other social events that we have common interest in. And we've seen this with quite a lot of the band members, you know, who over the years have got to know each other and very supportive of each other. And I hand over to Nikki, who works all the finance side of things.
Thank you. So our original application was for 2285, and as Joy mentioned, we've managed to secure 1,000. So we're asking you to consider a funding application for 1,285, and hope you've enjoyed our presentation and look forward to hearing your questions.
Thank you so much. It's a very good presentation. It explained everything well. I will open it up to questions. I've got one as well. Out of all of your members, and I have enjoyed seeing them perform a number of times, how many are from Letchworth?
I would probably say about at least 50%. Because we've got Ian Raz himself is from Letchworth. You know,
I would say
it's maybe over 50%.
Excellent, thank you. Councillors, after the presentation, do you have any questions? Councillor Hone.
Yes, really only declare an interest because I already sponsor that this organisation, as you can see, and therefore I am biased in the discussion because I've been supported over a number of years. I think it does a great job. So as a county councillor, I'm continue to do so, and I hope we continue to do so here. Thank
you for the sponsorship, Councillor Hone. Does anybody else have any questions at all? No. Okay then. In that case, the recommendation is for a grant of £1,285 to Garden City Samba to provide online training resources for new members as outlined in 8.1.1. Can I have a proposer for this, please? Councillor Mantle to propose, and a seconder, Councillor Derbyshire. Thank you very much. In that case, Please can we go to the vote?
Chair, that motion is carried.
Excellent. Thank you ever so much for your presentation, ladies. Please feel free to leave if you wish, or you can stay and watch if you wish as well. Thank you. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, our next item is Khalsa Youth Football Academy. Bal Singh, Nav Dhaliwal and Gavin Hart to present a verbal presentation, please.
You need to have a chair. Just move them around.
They do all have microphones, gentlemen. Okay, please feel free to start when you're ready.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Bal Singh. I'm a volunteer from the Khalsa Youth Football Academy. Okay. Yeah, so my name is Bal Singh, volunteer from the Khalsa Youth Football Academy. Our organisation would not exist without the endless hours of all of our volunteers. And I've got two volunteers here today. They'll introduce themselves and give you an explanation on their roles and responsibilities. So we'll start with Gav.
Hello. Right. My name's Gavin Hart, and I've been a volunteer for the KFA now for 10 years. My roles include helping develop the youngsters with a wide range of social media skills, such as camera, filming, photography, composing of newsletters, etc. Over the past few years, we've had the privilege and honour of having big outside media sources, showcasing the projects that we've done, such as the BBC, ITV, Sky, and Asian TV networks. Our recent project, a few months ago, we also had media from the Daily Star, the Daily Mirror and the Guardian come down and showcase our work and publish that. So I hope that gives you a real brief insight into the media work and developing the youngsters. Over to Nav.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Nav and I've been with the KFA for 20 years. I started as a student learning football to Salau skills and graduated with a football to Salau skills badge with the KFA. I've completed a Youth Leaders Award and now I help volunteer for the KFA and help with the coaching aspect as well. One of my great experiences with the KFA include playing and scoring against Spanish football side Valencia in a prestigious 2-2 futsal fixture. The leadership training I received at KFA helped me graduate from university with a sports degree.
Okay, I know some of you are aware of the work that we do. Those that you don't, I'll give you a quick insight. We were founded back in 1988. Initially, it's to tackle the underrepresentations of Asians in football. Phase 2 of our work was to create integration and connectivity with the wider community. Phase 3, so we've got the football futsal platform, but we also got the community platform. So over the last 3 decades with the community aspect, we've been tackling issues such as racism, antisocial behaviour, drug, knife and hate crime. We also facilitate and support parents with special needs children with activities and advice. We also work on taboo issues, particularly within the Sikh community, activities, initiatives regarding the awareness and dangers of sexual grooming. We've done projects and support the Sikh community in this area. So we're very proud of the volunteers that have worked with the Khalsa Youth Football Academy off the field in terms of our community work. Some of their achievements have been the Queen's Award for Voluntary Services. 5 times over the decades, we've been recognised at the High Sheriff Crime Beat Awards and twice gained national recognition at the National Crime Beat Awards. In terms of achievements on the pitch, we've had over 1,000 national, international futsal titles, including 2013 UEFA Young Champions at Olympic Park, London, 2010 Team India Deloitte Street Child World Champions, that was in Durban, South Africa, National FAU Futsal finalist, and the senior side won the FA Futsal 5 champions. So in terms of this application form, the project we are applying funding for is to provide a platform for youngsters aged 14 to 18. It's something we've done over the decades, actually. It's a roll-on program. We always identify a cohort. So I'll go through the what, where, and why. So in terms of what, it's a platform to empower youngsters in futsal and community engagement, officiate sessions, design training sessions, evaluate session plans, become young leaders and coaches, organize community events, gain communication, marketing, and media skills, and gain a qualification, which is a JFL Junior Football Leaders Award, which is transferable. So it's not just football industry. Where, so the sessions will be at Fernhill. However, we may be adaptable and use Hearts FA, and there's a couple of other venues we have in mind in terms of the workshops. So why? So through this project, youngsters can gain experience, transferable skill sets, which they can gain a qualification that can proudly sit on their CV, which opens up doors in universities, colleges, and opportunities for employment. Obviously, NAB's one of the great examples. In terms of the two objectives we aim to support with this application form, in terms of the council objectives, objective one, be a more welcoming and inclusive council. So with our organisation, we've had decades of experience using futsal as a mechanism of engagement, bringing different cultures and communities together, promoting inclusion and diversity. Objective two, building thriving, resilient communities. So our project will enable youngsters to become young leaders and engage and connect with a wider community once they've completed the JFL award. So the project will also create a platform for young leaders to learn the importance of democracy, which is another NHDC objective. So what are we applying for? £7,500 is the project cost. We've raised £5,500 and we're asking for £2,000 in this application. So the project aims to be completed by next May, June, is adaptable 2023, with a graduation event, which will be celebrated as part of our 35-year anniversary. What I'll do, I'll leave you with a short video, which was broadcasted on Sky Sports, which featured our project, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have after the video.
For a bit of football now, and two very different projects on opposite sides of London with the same aim, breaking down barriers. Steve Brown and Mark McAdam have been finding out. Take a look.
Sport isn't just about bettering yourself, playing as a team, or entertaining large crowds.
Sometimes it's just about bringing people together, whether it's the whole nation with the Olympic Games
Or smaller events like these. Val, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Tell us a little bit about Castle Football Academy.
Castle Football Academy was set up back in 1988. The idea was to use football as a mechanism of engagement to bring different community groups together, regardless of background. And that's the whole ethos of what we stand for, striving for unity.
And as for today, massive event going on. You've got some coaches working from Liverpool.
That's right, yeah. We've got coaches from Liverpool Football Club to support the provisions that we provide for the youngsters. And that's great for the kids as well. It kind of inspires them as well. And hopefully they'll take something away from that. They'll always learn something. No matter who does the session, they'll always learn something, and that's a positive thing.
I've been with Castle for 9 years. It's been an annual event. It's really good for us to see how grassroots football is developed here, as well as back in Liverpool. And it's good also then for the young people to sort of aspire, if they want to become a professional player or keep fit in the game, then we can help them to do that.
This is Diversity Day for all community backgrounds, and it's essential that you get your gear on, Mark, and have a game of football.
There's not enough different minorities coming in to the game, so it's good to bring them in, and this is a perfect opportunity to do that with.
Just people from every nation, everywhere, to be honest, and it's good for socialising. You learn about other cultures as well, so it's good.
As you can see, the football action is going on over there, but here at the Castle Academy, they don't play football to silence. They actually play to these African drums, don't they? Definitely. And this man does it.
There's a skill and an art to playing these. You have to play them with an open palm, because if you play them stiffly like this,
you don't get the sound. But if you do this, you get the sound coming through. Does it hurt your hands? Yes. That's a relief, because mine are very red. Not only have I spent the whole day playing football, working on my technique, meeting loads of new people from communities that I wouldn't have otherwise spent time with, I've also got 2 new friends who have been teaching me how to play the drums. Go on, lads.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that. And it's great to have that video as well to show everybody exactly how the futsal works. Councillor Rice, I believe you have a question.
Thank you, Chair. A very good presentation. Thank you very much indeed. It may be a silly question. I understand what football is, but what's futsal?
Okay, so futsal, translated in Portuguese, means football inside a hall, futsal. So that's the concept. So it's like a foam bladder, 90% less bounce in terms of a conventional football. So when you bounce it, it pretty much doesn't bounce. So it enables youngsters to manipulate the ball. We use both sides of the foot. So from a brain development, it's quite good as well, because they're using 2 sides of their brain as well. So it's got a lot of benefits. Hopefully that makes sense.
Than before.
Okay, fine.
Thank you very much. Right. Any other questions at all? Yes, Councillor Mantle.
Roughly how many young people do you have, and roughly how many of those come from Letchworth?
5%, I would say, from Letchworth. We can do projects where it could be an anti-social project with street soccer with 150 attracts. We could attract anything from 80 to 100 on a weekly basis.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So I believe that we have asked all of our questions. I will now say the recommendation is £2,000 to the Calcer Youth Football Academy towards a Young Leaders project aimed at 14 to 18-year-olds, as outlined in 8.1.2. Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Rice would like to propose. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Pendergast would second. Thank you. May we go to the vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Excellent. In that case, gentlemen, thank you ever so much for the presentation, and you are free to stay or you are free to leave if you wish. Thank you. Right. Our next presentation is from Letchworth Garden City Bowls Club, who are asking for £1,000 towards purchase of broken ditch units as outlined in 8.1.3. Could we have you up for the presentation, please? It's Tony Sinclair and Peter Bailey, I believe. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Gentlemen, if you would like to start when you are ready.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm Peter Bailey. I'm the treasurer of Letchworth Garden City Bowls Club. The club captain, Tony Sinclair, is also with me tonight. Our club is a long-established one. It was formed in 1931, and we play our matches at Norton Common. We are a small but successful club. Last year, our club won the Stevenage Mixed Bowls League, Last year also, our ladies team won the Hertfordshire Bowls North Division Club League and were runners-up in the county finals. And our men's team won the Letchworth and District Bowls Association Cairns Cup. We also play many informal friendly matches against other local clubs, and we hold social events and have club competitions amongst our members. Most of our members live in Letchworth and some from nearby villages. We are always happy to welcome new members. Like many bowls clubs, most, although not all, of our members are retired people. Bowls is an activity that people can continue to play or learn to play without needing to be particularly physically active. Our grant application concerns the need to replace some damaged concrete ditch units that go around our bowls green. If you've played bowls, you will know that the ditch plays an important part in the game. Players have to avoid getting their bowls into the ditch, but the game gets trickier if the jack is knocked into the ditch and remains in play. We need to replace the damaged ditch units on our green. We currently have a temporary fix in place, but we obviously want to avoid the damage increasing and minimise any potential health and safety risks. It is also important to our success as a club that we keep the ground in a good and safe condition. We have received a quotation that the cost of this works would be £1,194, and we are asking if the committee will agree a grant of £1,000 towards this expense. The cost to our club of maintaining the green each year is just over £8,000. And last year we had to meet significant one-off costs of installing CCTV following vandalism to our clubhouse. And we also had to replace old kitchen equipment. So there has been a lot of pressure on our budgets. Whilst we are confident that we are financially sound and can meet our running costs, we would not be able to carry out the ditch replacement work this year without external support. So we're asking the committee to support our application. Myself and Tony would be pleased to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think this is the third bowls group that I've had since I started as a councillor 4 years ago. And I understand this is a very popular pastime in Letchworth. Is this for replacing all of the ditches around the green, or is this just for the one section of the ditches?
It is just for a couple of sections, so relatively about 8-foot strip.
It's particularly a section where the greenkeepers bring their equipment on and off the green, so it's had more wear on it than other sections. It wouldn't normally corrode like this without that.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Mandel, sorry.
Am I right that the council actually owns the green and you have the use of it?
Right.
So it's actually our green that we're talking about. And am I right that some years ago you had to take over the maintenance of this from the council?
That is correct, but we do also receive a financial contribution from the Green Space team.
Yeah.
Of £3,000 a year.
Thank you.
Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Chair. I was trying to ascertain, is this the upper rink or the lower rink in the common?
This is the upper rink.
The upper rink, thank you.
You're one up on me because I didn't realise they were called rinks. I'm learning. Councillor Allen.
Thank you, Chair. If this particular area is getting damaged because of equipment going on and off, would it be worthwhile looking into having something there to stop it getting damaged again?
Well, they do have ramps to take it on the equipment on and off, but I've got to consider that the rink was built 70 years ago.
So is it likely that it'll be fixed and then get damaged again, and need
Well,
fixing
hopefully it'll
again,
last at least another 70 years.
Oh yeah, fair point then. No, okay. Well.
Right. In that case, if I don't have any other questions, the recommendation is £1,000 to Letchworth Garden City Bowls Club towards purchase of broken ditch units as outlined in 8.1.3. Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Allen. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bloxham. This is nice. Everybody's having a go today. May we go to the vote, please?
Chair, that motion is carried.
Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your presentation. And again, you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave. Yes, and I will second that. Have a good season. Right. And now we move on to Made in Clay, CIC. Sheila Mackey is going to give us a verbal presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Made with Clay is committed to developing a positive and creative space for all members of the community to engage with ceramics. We're a small but perfectly formed team of two teachers, Debbie and Jill. Debbie was supposed to be presenting tonight. I'm afraid you got the short straw of me. I'm one of the trustees. So Debbie would have been a much better presenter, but bear with me and I'll do my best. We have a great band of volunteers. They do everything from admissions to the website to the gardening. We offer specialist support to all, whether the makers are just beginning or working towards running their own practice. As a community-orientated organisation, we create access to creativity for those often excluded in society because of additional needs or lack of income. Our aim is to make everyone feel that they belong to a community. I know in the past with COVID, I think one of the things that it's shown is the difference that these types of groups make. I work in schools and I work with children, and I've seen the impact of having not being able to express themselves in a creative way has made. We offer classes for both well-being and skill development. Alongside this, we develop local artists and offer apprenticeships. We work with people that are recommended to us through Mind. We have additional needs, people attending the classes, and everyone has a chance to feel that they can create. What we're asking for funding for appears to be a very boring thing in lots of ways, because it is just shelves. But actually shelves are a vital part of the process, because once you've created your work, they have to dry out, and then once they've been in the kiln, they have to have space until they're collected. We are currently using shelves which we found when we moved into our hall, and we simply haven't got enough space. We are loath to increase our prices, so we need to increase our numbers. So we need more space. We need to be able to provide more space for people. I'm trying to think what else I need to say now.
You seem to be covering everything really well, especially for someone who stepped in at the last minute. It's really good because it's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not. I mean, I did. Everyone has presented so well, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know if it was worse being last or first. I think if I'd have gone first, and then I'd watched everyone else, I would have regretted it. But I think it's just it just makes a difference, you know. To I think we have over 50 regular people that attend. The vast majority of them are local, and to see them blossom and feel that they belong to a group again, especially after the last few years, is a really powerful thing. And we would like to increase that. We would like to offer it to more, and we would like to be able to. I mean, we currently have a few members that we quietly offer assistance to, and we would like to increase that. So we would be very grateful if you would look favourably upon our request.
Now, we will have a few questions. We totally understand because you're stepping in if you don't have the answers to hand. That's not a problem at all. My question would be, have you approached any other local groups for funding, such as Heritage, Civic Trust, that kind of thing at all?
Oh, sorry. We have raised part of the money towards this. We have raised £500 towards it. We haven't approached anyone else for the shelves.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Councillor Pendergast.
Thank you, Chair. By the way, your presentation was great. I've got a question about advertising. I think this is fantastic, by the way. I can imagine it being really helpful for people who suffer from anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff. You say in Mind, do you generally get referrals, or how do you advertise your classes? How do people get involved?
Yeah, we have people referred to us, and word of mouth. Once you begin to get a name for this type of thing, we have open days. We have the next one is on the 26th of March. Everyone is welcome. Please do come along. We're literally just across the road from here. We work with local groups as well. Before we moved into the Santa Hall, we did work with young carers and various other groups, and we'd love to expand the work that we do here into those groups as well.
Jack, can I follow up on that? Is that okay? The reason I asked is because I used to work with people who have vulnerabilities and stuff with mental health issues, and if you're in a position to be able to produce things like flyers and stuff, I think you'd get even more footfall, and you could really increase that participation.
And with that, they will definitely need some more shelving. So, unless I have any other questions, yes, Councillor Mantle.
Where actually are you based? Into the Santa Hall? And is that where the shelving will go? And you have a long-term tenure there? Thank you.
Excellent question. In that case, the recommendation is £2,169 to Made with Clay, CIC, towards the purchase of shelves as outlined in 8.1.4. Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Prendergast. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Rice. In that case, can we go to the vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Thank you. And it must have been a good presentation because everyone wanted to propose and second it.
Really grateful. I feel a bit emotional now.
Well, thank you so much for coming, and well done for stepping up. And again, you are welcome to stay or you are welcome to leave if you wish. Okay, that takes us on to item 10, the Grants and Community Update. Claire Morgan, the Community Engagement Team Leader, to present an update on the grants and community work in Letchworth.
Thank you, Chair. Firstly, I was very interested to see Graham Fisher's presentation about how they're undersubscribed to spend the £600,000 that the Heritage Foundation have got to give out in grant funding when we've got 11 to give out in Letchworth. For this meeting, we were incredibly oversubscribed and we deferred 4 grants to go to the next meeting in June. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had enough budget to cover the grants that came to us. So I do want to have a chat with Graham and Alistair Stewart about why groups are coming to us asking for £2,000 a time usually and not going to the Heritage Foundation, and I'm wondering why that is. So the grants that's, yes. Yes, maybe, or we advertise ours too well. I don't know.
You're welcome to comment on that.
Sorry to interrupt. I mean, it could be because the Heritage Foundation is unique, and therefore charities do tend to go to the local authorities. We uniquely here in Letchworth do have something in addition that supplements the local authorities, which is the Heritage Foundation. And of course, the funds for that are from the rental and the income of the properties under the concept of the Garden City. So that could be a reason.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing, you quite rightly say, that we, because I can refer to both,
Yes.
have funds and they have funds, and perhaps there's some opportunity there, as you say, to meet with Stuart and to make some progress.
We're not for a second saying that we're not impressed with the amount they do for Letchworth. We really do appreciate that. We're just saying, let's see if we can find a better way to give more money to the people, charities and groups of Letchworth.
Absolutely. So this evening, you've just managed to allocate £6,454. That's going to leave a carryover for the next financial year of 956, which is not too bad. But we do have 2,000 sitting in the budget that was allocated this time last year to the Wilbury and Icknield School Parents Association. I know the Whisper, as they're known, have been trying very hard to progress this project. It was to put a porta cabin in the grounds of the school so that they could use it for the tetracycle project. And there was a lot of red tape because they had to get permissions from county to put a structure on the playground, and then they needed planning permission. So I think they were still waiting for planning permission. So what I'm proposing is that we reallocate that £2,000 into our base budget, and then it will be carried over to next year. So if members want to vote on that or ask any questions or comment.
I've got a question, if that's okay. Are we able to roll it over and give Whisper the chance to get this completed next year?
Yep.
That is something that is an option.
Yeah, that's an option. We don't have to reallocate it.
I think that might have been Councillor Hone's question as well.
Yeah.
I believe that the work that's been done by Whisper on the terracycling is something I do know quite a bit about. It was something that I have looked at with Whisper in the past. I'm not involved with them at all. But I think that the work is very good. It's very much the kind of thing that we want to be approving. And I, for one, would put forward that we roll this over into next year's budget. Does anybody have any other questions about that or any comments about that? And if not, would we need to vote on that?
I don't think so, because that's maintaining the status quo in that case, that it stays allocated in the budget for that purpose. And then perhaps we can visit this again at the next meeting and see where they're up to by then. Perhaps we could ask them to present at the next meeting to give us an update.
I think that's a very good idea. Is everybody happy with that? Excellent. Thank you very much.
And unless anyone has any questions on the contents of the community update report, then that's me finished.
In that case, The recommendation is that the committee be recommended to endorse the actions taken by the community engagement team to promote greater community capacity and well-being for Letchworth, which I think we can all agree on straight away, but we will have a vote on it. Can I have a proposer, please? Terry, Councillor Hone, and a seconder, Councillor Derbyshire. Thank you very much. Can we go to the vote? Oh, yes, definitely.
Chair, that motion's carried.
Thank you.
Just wanted to remind everybody that the next councillor's surgery is on the 19th of March. So that's not this weekend, next weekend. We're going to be, hopefully, weather permitting. If there's no hurricanes or anything, then we'll be outside where Costa is, next to the veg hut with our gazebo to chat to the members of the public that might come and want to speak to us.
I look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible. It will be good. Whenever we do these in person, I'm going to say this for the benefit of YouTube, if we have people watching, getting people along in person, we get a lot more contact than we do with Zooms. It's really positive, and I know that all of you enjoy coming along, and I do really appreciate your support on it. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. Then in that case, I believe number 11, Ward and Outside Organisation Members' Reports. Do any members have any updates for the committee? I'm going to take advantage of this one. Councillor Allen.
Thank you. I was just going to point out, I've just literally had an update from Westford to say that the planning permission has been submitted today.
There we go.
Fingers crossed it will be done in the next few, well, however long it takes.
I was going to take advantage to say that we have the Wilbury Community Cafe, which is coming up this Saturday, and you're all very welcome to come along to that one, which is a community cafe, and we get lots of good interaction with members of the public there. There's lots of bits and pieces. Please do come along if you would like. And on that, ladies and gentlemen, at 8:37, I close the meeting. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, officers, for your support today.